What are your thoughts on what you've seen out there on the ice over the last few days?
Well, first of all, I'm super excited to be here. Great opportunity. Getting in and just kind of observing first and foremost, and been super impressed with the organization from the start. The organizing of this camp, the development training camp, and then the play on ice has been very good. And as camp goes on and it gets tighter, you see better, cleaner hockey. And that's really important as you kind of whittle down to the end here. And but there's a lot of bright spots, and we have a lot of work to do to be back where we want to be. But it's a great starting point.
Yeah, you kind of touched on it a little bit already, but are there certain elements of the game that you as a coach are looking for specifically in players that you can take away and then input into the team to create that identity that you want when the season starts up in September?
Yeah, and we tried to tell the kids to not overthink, don't try and do too much, because we're watching for the details of the game. And every player has a different skill set. But if you're playing real hockey, positional hockey, we're going to notice in this tryout situation, in this training camp. That's first and foremost, right? And then we, as a coaching staff, will implement some structure to those skill sets and play as a team, and the wins will come. But watching individuals, everyone can see if a kid can skate, shoot, pass, but it's really the processing that I care for, and the hockey intellect, that someone naturally has, and then something that you can pull out of each player individually as the season progresses. But those are the small details of the game that really do add up to being an integral part of playing as a group.
Your hockey resume dates for many years. You were a scout with the Chicago Blackhawks for a number of years. You were there when the team won their third Stanley Cup earlier in the 2010s era. Won the Hobie Baker Award as well. So you've done it all from playing to coaching, and now obviously you land here as an assistant coach. How has all of that experience kind of raveled together to help you with the Steel this upcoming season?
It's a great question, because this is how I feel about having the experience of being a player, a scout, a coach, trying to really give the kids everything that I've experienced, but really organizing it and then being able to communicate it in a way where at this age appropriate, impressionable development time can be easily processed. And over the course of my playing days, I've had good coaches, bad coaches, but you take bits and pieces of each coach that you've had and kind of like construct it to your personality and your approach, and then the delivery of that message. And I think that's really important. That's the exciting part about coaching, the reward when you can kind of give back what you experienced, and then you start seeing results from each individual player and then collectively as a group.
You're reunited with Scott Gomez, who you coached with in Surrey last year. Two-time Stanley Cup winner is Gomer. With what you've seen on the ice and now knowing that you'll get to coach alongside your buddy and Scott, what's the excitement level of, again, having this great talent on the ice and then getting started in late August?
Well, the coaching staff is really a team within the team. So the approach and the message has to be, on the same page. And I've known Scott a long time. He sees the game a certain way. I see the game a certain way. And then the delivery is up to the personality. So the boys will be getting the same message, and then the delivery could be different from Scott or from me, and from Hask. And as guys start to get to know us, we're in it for the right reasons. I love being behind the bench with them. Love just socially being with them. He's one of my best friends. So as the season progresses, it's just we talk about having fun, right? And then the fun part is putting the work in, and really embracing that hard work that is going to be able to lead to success. And we do it as coaches, and we want to implement that to the group and kind of make it a fun experience, but accomplishing the goals along the way.
Mike, we appreciate your time. We're excited to have you here, and we're even more excited to get the season going. Thank you.
Thank you.